What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Miles Angel back again with another video, and today I just wanted to talk about WWE Raw on Netflix because Raw is like been in the gutter. It's been together for over a year, you know what I mean? Even the very first Raw on Netflix last year in LA, it wasn't that good. So, I can't really think of a Raw episode since they've been on Netflix that's been like a super banger that I would just like rewatch over and over and over again, you know what I mean? But they just had the Raw Stranger Things themed episode on Monday, and that show was just a miss. And I'm glad a lot of the wrestling community is calling Triple H out, because the show was just bad. It was just bad, title changes, same old shit, you know what I mean? Title changes with titles that we don't care about, like the women's tag belts, Rhea and Io are gonna drop those soon, but yeah, man. And then just lackluster matches and shit that's not gonna really do anything for you going into the next week. But yeah, man, like I really feel like Netflix is gonna opt out of WWE in like 3 years, you know what I mean? I feel like they're already trying to opt out, you know what I mean? They're supposed to be stuck with them for at least 5, but I feel like they're going to opt out in 3. WWE's Raw is not even a top 10 show on Netflix. They're getting beat out by Dave Chappelle. Like, that special that he has been on for weeks, and I mean weeks, and WWE has not been in the top 10 of shows for like, I think 5 weeks, you know what I mean? So, and we can't even get their ratings for Raw because they're not in the top 10, so it's just like, it's sad, like what I think WWE Raw, what you need, definitely fresher stars. I am happy that Javon Evans is on the roster. I really wish they would have done it in a more better way, that we could have all enjoyed it on television instead of just going to social media and seeing that Javon Evans is on the Raw roster. But it is what it is. I think just WWE Raw just needs a huge shakeup with the roster. I don't think they have really many stars on that show that really captivate anybody right now. They don't have any really captivating storylines, to be honest. You know what I mean? I really can't think of one that really interests me. You feel me? Storylines are so pivotal to wrestling because that's how we all really got into wrestling. You know what I mean? Even when Vince McMahon's nasty ass was running this company, that's how we got behind characters like Batista, like even a Triple H, you know what I mean? A Kane, Undertaker, Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy, Edge, you know what I mean? Trish Stratus, Lita, you know what I mean? Like, it's storylines. We captivated by these larger-than-life wrestlers because of storylines. You know what I mean? I think WWE somehow needs to find captivating storylines so we could keep watching the next week and the next week and the next week. You know what I mean? So it just sucks where Raw is at. Raw is supposed to be the A show, and I feel like SmackDown had a better show than Raw did on last Friday, you know what I mean? And SmackDown's been just horse shit the last year. But, Raw ain't been any better. So, but I just believe WWE needs to have more storylines, you know what I mean? More captivating television so people can continue watching the next week and the next week, man. Because I feel like Triple H books on a lot of cheap pops. This Monday was basically just cheap pops, low-key, or a bunch of false advertisement because they hyped up this show like it was going to be hell of a show. I don't see what it was the point of the whole Stranger Things thing. I feel like they could have done that a whole week prior before the finale happened. I think that would have made more sense because I feel like having a Stranger Things themed Raw a week after the finale ended and you had none of the cast members there literally did nothing. I don't think that does anything for anybody that wants to watch the show. You know what I mean? I think it would have done more if you had it the week before. But I feel like Netflix is trying everything in their power to get people to tune into Raw. They're trying to do everything in their power because they're not getting their return on investment. You know what I mean? And speaking of Netflix, I think they just acquired the WWE library because that Peacock deal or NBC Universal deal with the WWE library just ran out. So Netflix, I think, acquired it. I think they have like a non-exclusive deal. So honestly, that's a win for Netflix, because Netflix is probably paying pennies for that. So it don't even matter with that. But and plus the WWE library, it's not even really that important anymore, because you can find any of that content anywhere now. You can find it on this, YouTube. You know what I mean? So you can find WWE content anywhere. But WWE Raw needs a whole overhaul, man. Yeah, I don't like talking about wrestling like this, but it's like, you got to be honest, man. And I'm very passionate about wrestling, especially, WWE, something that I grew up on a lot. And I know that this company says, fuck you to the fans and everything. But I've been watching WWE longer than TKO has held it. I've been watching WWE longer than when Triple H was running this company. So this is before these niggas. You know what I mean? That's my love for it. You know what I mean? And it's like a toxic relationship with an ex. You know what I mean? You keep going back to, even though they're gonna keep throwing shit in your face. They ain't gonna change. They may be good one day and then they not gonna change. But it's like, I love wrestling. I love pro wrestling. I love WWE, and it's just, I hope Monday Night Raw makes a change, man. You know what I mean? I really do, because I like Raw I don't like the Raws we've been getting, but I do like the access to Raw with it being on Netflix. I think that's the best. I think that's the best thing for me as a viewer watching Raw, because a lot of us, we don't really have cable. Plus, I live on the West Coast, and we get the wrestling feeds at 8 o'clock our time, you know what I mean? While the other side gets it right when Raw is actually being filmed at the arena at 5 o'clock Eastern, you know what I mean? So I feel like I'm watching Raw with the rest of the world when it's on Netflix. So I do like it being on a streaming service like Netflix. I already had Netflix. It's easy to access. Plus, they're doing Raw when it's out of the country. You could watch it, at that time in the country. I like that shit, you know what I mean? So I would like them to stay on Netflix, you know what I mean? But it's just unfortunate where Raw is at. I'm grateful, like I said, that fans are calling out WWE for the BS this past Monday, because it was trash. There was a lot of false advertisement. Triple H always sitting here saying, hey, this is going to be a new era. No, it's not. It's not a new era. It's the new year, same shit. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know, man. But I'm going to keep being on WWE's head all year about it. You know what I mean? Because I love this shit. And just like my Raiders, I want the Raiders to change. I want WWE to change. You know what I mean? I feel like sports and wrestling, our passion for it intertwines with each other. I might have to make a video on that, how those two worlds collide, but more than you think. But yeah, man, we just gotta hope, man. We gotta hope, bro. You know what I mean? At this point, it's just, we only tune in at having it hope, bro. We'll see, man. I want to get behind these wrestlers so much, but it's up to the booker, the guy that's at the end of the credits every show, to make us care about it and make us captivated. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say about Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Like I said, I feel like Netflix is going to opt out of WWE pretty soon, probably in the next 3 years or something, man. Shout out BC Amplified. He's a great YouTuber. He talks about this shit all the time. So, honestly, I got most of this video idea from him, but I wanted to give my thoughts on it. But, yeah, man, just like I said, I hope it gets better, but we'll see, man. 2026 is not looking too well for WWE again. So, yeah. But, yeah, I'll catch you on the next one, man. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll leave y'all alone for the rest of the day. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.